Hello again. This is just a little extra for the outdoor exploration series because I have referenced eating the eggs of these chickens that we're raising, as well as eating some of the chickens, especially those that aren't fitting in with the flock very well if they're bullying or having some sort of a physical problem where we're not going to be able to keep them well and healthy. Physical not being disease. We wouldn't eat diseased chickens. But I just wanted to address that because I have been told many times in my life that eating meat is unconscionable, that raising animals for food is unconscionable. And I think we all have to make what we think are the most ethical choices that we can. This is ours. And the reason is that I don't believe eating without awareness of where our food comes from and our impact on the world. What are you doing? Careful. Is ethical at all. I think. Oh, sorry. I'm just turning. It's all right. You can go back to sleep if you want. Are you leaving? Okay, bye. I think that, being a vegan or choosing to eat only pulses and things like cauliflower for protein, as we do in our family most of the time, is a perfectly legitimate option. But in all cases, whether you eat meat, whether you're a vegetarian or a vegan, you have to be aware of where it comes from, how the animal lived, how the process of either farming or gathering wild food or whatever you're doing is impacting our own ecosystem, because we're all a part of this big ecosystem. And you could be the most natural hunter and not be paying attention to what animals you're hunting, and how you're impacting the ecosystem that way. You can be vegan and be buying things that have created horrible destruction for animals and humans around the world, either by ecological devastation, meaning stripping the soil, or by logging rainforests to make way for the farming of those things, or by quinoa. Quinoa is farmed at the expense of the local people whose diet consisted of quinoa until it became too expensive for them to afford because it was being shipped all over the world. We need to think about those things. And, I can grow quinoa in my garden here, not hugely successfully since I'm battling squirrels for it apparently, but I think that growing our own food in the most ecologically sustainable and ethical way we possibly can is the most ethical decision, or the most ethical way of consuming food. We have to consume food. My family can't have beans because my son is allergic to them, so that limits our non-animal proteins down to fewer things. Beans include soy, so and it takes out a lot of processed food, not being able to have soy in the house, but that's not a problem, because food processing and the massive agriculture system that we have now isn't sustainable and it isn't ethical. So this is our plan, and our plan is to raise the chickens as lovingly and as healthily as we can, and to eat mostly eggs, although my son also can't eat eggs, so he will be eating the meat of the birds, and the other three of us will eat eggs. They're also a part of a healthy vegetable garden because their droppings actually fertilize the soil in a wonderful way, as well as they love to eat weeds. So it's it's great all around. And yeah, I'm just trying to look at our little mini farm. We only have a 1/4 acre or so here to use, but I'm trying to look at it as an ecosystem in itself, of us, of what grows naturally, including weeds, some of which are invasive, but some of which are indigenous here, and the dirt and the soil and everything else, the chickens that we've brought in, the insects, the mushrooms and the fungus, and and us. And so to me, this is our most ethical choice. just to answer that question. And that isn't a criticism of people who choose to be vegan or to hunt or to eat store-bought foods, but I feel better in myself making the choice that to me is the most ethical and healthy for us and the piece of land that we're living on, which thankfully we're allowed to farm on. So that's it. See you next video. It's a rose petal. Ooh, how exciting. You're still filming me.